You think I'll let you zone?
Hey everyone, I'm back once again for a review, and this time we go back to the 90s for a classic on the PlayStation 1, Ape Escape. It was developed by a defunct PlayStation Studio, Japan Studio, where it was released on June 22nd, 1999 in the US, June 24th in Japan, and July 2nd, 1999 in the EU. Ape Escape is a third-person platformer where you use gadgets to capture monkeys that get a time machine and try to change the future of the Earth, and our only hope is some kid named Spike. Can he capture all the monkeys, or will this be monkey business as usual for the villain Spectre? Let's get to it. Intro first with Spectre the circus monkey getting a peak point helmet, which isn't explained how he got it, but he has it, and as soon as he put it on, he knew what he wanted to do. We start with Spike and Jake rushing to the professor's lab because he was working on a functioning time station that allowed the user to go anywhere in time, which could be really dangerous if he was going to let two preteens use it for fun. They make it to the lab and see the professor and his granddaughter Natalie captured by monkeys. They warn Spike and Jake to stop the monkeys from activating the time station. Unfortunately, the monkeys activate the station with Spectre and the boys caught in the portal. Professor pats himself on the back because the station actually works, but they have a new problem now that they need to solve. The professor contacts Spike, telling him that he's the only one that can stop Spectre and the monkeys from changing history, and to help him, two of the professor's gadgets were sent back in time as well. Spike needs to track down Spectre and his minions, capture them, and send them back to the current time before Spectre conquers the world. After going to a few eras like the Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Spike can't slow down now as every second counts because it gives Spectre a chance to succeed. After a while, Spectre contacts the Professor, gloating that his invention, the Peak Point Helmet, is a marvel as it gave him a genius mind and powers he never had before, and will use it to make sure apes control the world. The professor warns that the helmet does work, but it's untested and no one knows the consequences from constant use, and advises Spectre to bring it back to the lab, but he won't do that as he already copied it and gave them to his minions as well. Spectre says that he sent his armies back to various points in history to take control and no one can stop them. Natalie says that Spike will do it, but that runt doesn't scare him, and besides, Spectre has a surprise for him, Jake. It seems Spectre has brainwashed Jake into working for the apes. Spectre says that now with his power, no one can tell him what to do anymore. He has to go, but don't worry, they'll see each other very soon. After a while from catching monkeys in time, the professor finally located Spectre, though they don't know exactly where, but he's hiding in the Dawn of Civilization era. Spectre is finalizing his plans for domination because his armies are bigger and stronger than before. Spike needs to get to that era and find Spectre before time runs out. Spike finds Spectre in the medieval ages with Jake. Jake and Spectre finish their plans in that era and tell Spike that he will have his chance to settle things soon and leave him their own time station ship. Later, Spike makes it back to the modern day where the monkeys are trying to continue their conquest. Spike makes it back to the lab and sees a message from the professor stating they need his help as Spectre is making the town his base with the apes everywhere and even stronger than before. He's the only one who can save the day. He has all the gadgets that he needs to put the monkeys away. So get to it. As we see in the message, the monkeys are using a blowtorch to open the door and kidnap the professor and Natalie. Spike makes it to the TV station to rescue the professor and Natalie, but Spectre still needs them to help him with his plans. After the defeat, Spectre is surprised that Spike could make it this far on his own. Spike wants his friends back, but the monkey says he isn't done yet, so he will see him soon, and teleports away. Spectre contacts Spike, telling him that he has made a special amusement park just for him, and that the professor and his granddaughter are having fun, so come by when he can. Spike goes to the circus to get the professor out of the cage so he can get back to the lab, and after the clown fight, Spike thanks the professor for the gadgets that helped him, but the professor says the gadgets don't have any real special power. It was his determination and willpower to work with what he had that gave him the strength. Next, he finds Natalie in the haunted house, and she isn't very pleased that he hasn't rescued her yet, and is just looking at her from across the room. After freeing her, she asks if Spike has found either Spectre or Jake yet, and he says nope. So she calls him useless and that they need to go find them now, so Natalie goes back to the lab to help find the pair. Then it's the showdown with Jake at the go-karts, Spike knocking some sense into Jake and getting rid of the mind control. Spike is happy that Jake is back to normal, but Jake doesn't remember much and has a concussion. Spectre contacts the pair and makes one final offer to Spike about joining him and taking over the world. Spike thinks the monkey's crazy, and Spectre just says to meet with him one last time on his new floating fortress. At the final showdown, Spectre tells Spike does he like his new fortress, as this is the most powerful thing in the world. Spike tells the monkey he's crazy and to stop everything because he isn't joining him, but Spectre will not give up and tries to brain control Spike. Unfortunately, his willpower is too strong and is immune to the brain control. Spectre doesn't know what's happening, and Spike says a corny line about true strength isn't just power or something like that, which scares Spectre into telling the kid to leave him alone. After the battle, Spectre is salty that the kid destroyed his plans at world domination. He won't return to the circus and that this isn't over as he runs away, and the credits roll. But we are going for all monkey capture runs, so Spike jumps back into the time station to clean up any monkeys left in any of the other eras, and then the professor tells Spike Spectre has been located and to finish this once and for all. Spectre is frustrated because he can't understand Spike. He has all that power and energy, but he is wasting his potential that he could put all that to good use for something better. But Spike isn't like Spectre, as he would never do something destructive. Before they fight, Spectre asks about his trainer, and Spike says that he misses Spectre, and if he apologizes, then they'll probably let him return. But Spectre doesn't want to go back after the way he was treated there. After the battle, Spike captures Spectre, and the true ending is shown with Spectre going back to the park and being with his trainer. Here is the unique gameplay of Ape Escape, where the name of the game is to platform and solve puzzles to capture monkeys with gadgets. By 1998, Ape Escape was one of the very few games that required a different controller. The dual analog controller, where you move Spike with the left thumbstick instead of the thumb pad, and selected a gadget with a sheep face button, but to use said gadget, you had to use the right thumbstick. The shoulder triggers were for double jumping, but it was a weird controller layout back then that you had to use the stick or you couldn't play the game at all. The DualShock 1 and 2 worked with this game as well, and the only difference between a DualShock and a dual analog controller is that the analog controller didn't give feedback when something happened on screen. The gadgets are the main draw of the game, as Spike has to chase and track down the monkeys in each era in the time he visits. Some will just run away as they see him coming to capture them with the time net, the only gadget that captures monkeys on land. There is also the stun club that can be used to defend yourself, break some objects, or to stun monkeys before using the time net, which usually doesn't leave your loadout often. The only other one that can catch monkeys is the aqua net, and like the name suggests, can help Spike swim, plus capture monkeys in the water. Others like the monkey radar that help locate monkeys you can't find, and they even give you a description of what they're like, to the super hoop that speeds Spike up to chase down very fast monkeys. A slingback shooter is for puzzle solving or knocking that one random monkey swinging around. Then we have the RC car that is a unique one because it's meant to help chase monkeys out of hard to reach places and help Spike solve puzzles that need 2 people. The Sky Flyer is primarily for platforming and maybe boss fights, as it can give Spike a big jump by itself and glide, or if you can get fancy with it, you can add a third jump to glide if you time it correctly. The Magic Glove is a gadget that you can only get after beating the game once to break open boxes or obstacles that the Stun Club can't on your way to the all monkey capture. Other than that, Spike can take 5 hits before dying, collect 100 stars to get a 1-up, which is oddly shaped into the form of his shirt. He can crawl to sneak up on monkeys for capture, and climb some structures to get a better vantage point to look for Spectre coins, which are used to unlock the 3 mini games you can play at the time station. Ape Escape is a fun game from the 90s era of PlayStation where they try everything to gain footing in the gaming space. It definitely has some early 3D video game controller jank, like with the jumping and the crappy checkpoints when you die. Like, you will have a monkey captured when you die, but restart is at the beginning of the level or a level transition, which was usually farther than where you were before. The one I'm playing is on the PS5 with their new emulator that offers save states and quick rewind to fix those mistakes that got Spike killed, and trophy support. For $10, this is the best official way to play Ape Escape other than getting a PS1 and disc that would cost you about $40 for just the disc currently. You can finish the game in about 5 to 6 hours or 8 hours if you want to go for the true ending. With that being said, I give Ape Escape an 8 out of 10 with my nostalgia shades fully up. Oh, and if you wonder why you like the late 90s, early 2000s game OSTs, then you will love the jungle genre. That should do it for this review, but I'm in the classic kind of mind where you will see me next steal some things in the next generation. Stay gold, and I'll see you in the next video.